So, I don't know if anybody will be interested in what I'm going to say. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm doing it for myself as well as a record. Every year I try and do this, and every year I delete the video because it's you'll know why in a minute, but it is something that's hard to talk about, and then I think nobody cares anyway, so I don't really know why I'm bothering. But I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm just doing it for myself. If anybody else watches this video and they want to comment, okay, that's fine. I don't mind. That's your choice. So in 2014, my mum died. She was 57 at the time. When she died, I mean, obviously. Something strange, just a bit strange. She was born in 1957 and she died on the 19th at the age of 57, which is 19 and 57. So, makes 1957. I always found it to be a strange coincidence. I mean, it probably doesn't mean anything, but it's just one of them strange coincidences. Anyway, I'll talk a little bit about it. I might not even upload this. I don't know. I will do, because I want. There's people ask me, and I don't want to talk about it all the time. I've told people, but there's people who still don't really know what happened, and I get asked, and it's like, it's, I don't know. I'll be out in town or something, or wherever I am, and it's not the right place to talk about it. So if I can just say, there's a video on YouTube, go and watch that. And then usually I get angry as well. That's another reason why I've deleted it, because the things that happened with the hospital, I think I can get through it now without, getting too annoyed about it. But before, when I've done it, it has really got me angry. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So where should I even start? She was ill. I don't know if I really want to say what it was, but I will, I suppose. Because of one thing and another, and things that happened to her when she was a child, bad things. I don't want to say. I definitely don't want to say what that was. It's just, the worst thing that can happen to a child that can be done to them, to a little girl. Just, we'll stop there. I think you can guess. And because of that, she had a lot of, bad feelings and memories, and so she started taking drugs. She started out with cannabis with this guy she knew. I think she was going out with him at the time. Whatever. This is when she was a teenager, and as happens, the drug dealer came to him one day and he said, "Oh, you like cannabis, do you? Well, try this. This is even better. This is heroin." So she got hooked on heroin, didn't she? From then, which is a long time to be doing that. I don't know if it was continual or if it was just, I don't know if it was like she was doing it and then she stopped and then she started again, but she was definitely doing it when she died. She promised me she wasn't, but she promised she wasn't drinking either, and she was. I found all the bottles. Like the council, they moved us from where we were for reasons that I don't need to go into at the moment. And they put her over and off license, and she had an alcohol problem, and I didn't want her to move there for that very reason. But she got put over and off license, and there were like 25 empty bottles of half bottles of whiskey, and no, it was brandy, I think. So no, wait a minute, no, it was vodka. That's what it was. It was vodka. So I found that this was after she died. I found that it was hidden in a cupboard. And she supposedly stopped taking heroin. She used to smoke it, but she must have, whatever. She used to smoke it, and every now and again I will finding it, and I'm not making excuses for her. I didn't want her to do it. I knew she was doing it, and I tried to stop her. I don't know how many times I tried to talk her out of doing it, but it's a waste of time. If someone's going to do that, they're going to do it. You can't stop them. You're wasting your time. The only way they're going to stop is if they want to stop. But anyway, I can talk about that in other videos on the alcohol and other things. That's not what I want to talk about now. I'm just mentioning it because it comes on to the fact that she had hepatitis C. No, this was obviously because she must have been doing, things other than smoking it. She always said it wasn't that, but whatever. It's obvious to me. This is all really embarrassing stuff. This is why I delete the videos, because I don't like talking about it. I myself have never touched drugs. My mum and dad both took drugs. I have never taken drugs because of seeing what it does to people. And I don't really even drink that much for the same reason. I'm not saying I don't drink, but it is very, very rare that I will. So yeah, I don't do things like that, especially not drugs, no. It's for mugs. People who think they're being cool or something, no. It says something about them. It does say something about you. It says you're a fucking moron. And I swore now and I shouldn't have done, but whatever. That's what I think though. And I'm right. If you got any sense, you'll see that I'm right, but whatever. You do what you want, don't you? Everybody has to make their own choices in life. But anyway, so that was the point I wanted to come to. She had hepatitis C, and that's ultimately what killed her, because if you don't know, hepatitis C is a virus that attacks the liver, and it's constantly attacking it. And I only found out after the fact. She could have had some kind of injection that it deactivates the virus or something, so you've still got it, but it stops you from attacking the liver. But she never told me. She didn't tell me that. She were going to go for an injection at one point, and I didn't really understand what it was, and I could have gone with her, but I was doing something and I didn't want to go, and then she wouldn't go, and then it was never mentioned again. She could be alive now if she'd had this injection. She could have been, and she wasn't drinking. She could be alive now, but she ended up getting liver disease. So I just want to talk about how it happened and the way that she died, and maybe somebody who hears this, maybe you'll not do the same things. But I don't see why anyone would listen to me, to be honest. Another reason why I always delete this video. So let me see. So in 2013, I can't remember what month it would have been. I feel like I want to say, no, it wasn't. It was it was 2013. Yeah, I think, was it? No, sorry, I'm wrong. We moved into this flat in 2013 at the end of the year, and it was in 2014 in about February, something like that. One day she said to me, I'm all swollen up, and I couldn't understand what it was, so we got her laxatives at first, because I thought maybe she's really constipated, because she used to have trouble going to the toilet. So I thought maybe that'll sort it out. Didn't work. So then we went to this woman who does enemas. I thought she could see this woman, and the woman wouldn't do it because she said, no, it's something else, you got to see the doctor. So she went to the doctor. The doctor said, no, it's nothing, we'll just give you these antibiotics, go home. This is the NHS, this is the GP. So give her these tabs. Nothing happened, didn't work. So then eventually I made her go to A&E. She hated going to A&E, and I'll tell you why she hated going to A&E, right? Because she got treated like a piece of crap, basically, which these people that work at A&E should not be making any kind of judgments about the people that go in. They're there to do a job. Do your job and keep your opinion to yourself. But that's not the way. I know of people, I've been told, and I believe it as well, that they look at your medical history, and if they see anything they don't like on it, then you go to the back of the list. And I know that that's true because of all the times I've been in with her. She used to, for various reasons that I don't want to talk about at the moment, she would end up on A&E. And I'll tell you why. She tried to kill herself about 10 times over the years, and I'd end up going in with her because she'd take all the sleeping pills, which isn't going to really do anything most of the time. And I know that because nothing ever happened to her. They give her charcoal and stuff. But they, you could hear them saying things, making comments in the corridor, and they just leave her there for hours and hours on end and just ignore her. So yeah, I don't like the NHS. Who are there to judge? Why are they so good? All half of them are alcoholics and sex addicts. I know people who work for the NHS, so I know I'm right. I'm not saying all of them, but a percentage of them, they act like they're so good. You remember during that thing that happened over the last 2 years, when the hospitals were supposed to be, overrun? Well, they didn't stop them finding time to, do dance routines. Oh, they're so knackered, but they can set up dance routines, can't they? They can do that. They're not too tired to do that, are they? When people are in rooms and they're dying, apparently. Bit disrespectful, isn't it, really? That's the NHS for you. But anyway, sorry, I'm going off on one. See, this is another reason why I delete the videos, because I start going off on one. I'm trying not to, anyway. If you work for the NHS and you're somebody who's not like that, then fair enough. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I know some of them are. Anyway, rant over. I've forgotten where we're up to. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I know. So anyway, we found out what it was. It was fluid build-up. She actually had to go to hospital in Manchester. We went to Oldham and they sent her to Manchester. Of course, it was in the middle of the night again. It's always in the middle of the night when these things happen. And they give her some tablets. I think they were called water tablets. And all the swelling went down. And she seemed to get better. Then after that, she couldn't have salt. If she had salt, it was like she started getting pain in her legs and stuff. But she had liver disease, proper liver disease by this point. And like I said, she couldn't have salt. And obviously she shouldn't have been drinking, but she was, unbeknownst to me. And she was still doing the other thing as well. But I didn't know. She used to do it when I was at work. Or she'd say, oh, I'm just going to see my friend. Who's that? Oh yeah, he works downstairs in the shop, doesn't he? Didn't like him either. But whatever, I'm not going to get on that. You can't like everybody, can you? Well, I must sound like I don't like anybody. There are people I like, but I mean, to be honest, I don't blame the guy for selling her the booze. It's not his business what she does. I'm not saying that's his fault. I just generally didn't like him. He was a bit of a, well, whatever. So anyway, I thought she'd gotten better. I didn't really fully appreciate how bad the situation was, to be honest. I thought it was manageable. She was never going to get a liver transplant though. So as the year went on, we got used to doing, doing things like making meals with low sodium, and I was buying her water and stuff like that. And I was trying to get her to drink dandelion tea, which she wouldn't drink because she didn't like it. Fair enough. I tried. Apparently that's good for people with liver disease, but she didn't want to know. Anyway, so this is 2014 that it started, and then it was the 19th of December 2014. It was the 18th actually. It started. She started feeling ill, and she'd swollen up again. The medicine had stopped working, but she left it till the last minute to tell me. So that night, because it was the 18th, and then the next day in the morning when she actually died. But anyway, sorry, just trying to think where I'm up to. So I came home from work, made her some food, was in my room. She started throwing up, which was not unusual. She used to be sick a lot. People that smoke heroin throw up a lot and they get acid reflux. Well, she did anyway. I don't know if it happens to everybody. I've never asked anybody, but she did. And I'd only found out a day or two before that she was doing it again. But by this point, I didn't care anymore. She wasn't listening to me. I'd spent 15 years, more really. No, about 15 years trying to get her to stop. And I thought she had. She went to a rehab place and she came back and she seemed to be okay and she seemed to have finished. Then somebody came back into our life who'd been gone. And they were doing it And because they were doing it, and they brought it back in the house, and she started doing it, and I won't forgive that person for that, and they know who they are. I'm not going to say who they are. Anyway, whatever. So, like I said, she was sick. Cleaned her up, cleaned up the mess. She was a little bit of a mess or whatever. It was in a bucket. She was sick in a bucket. I remember now. So threw it away, and then she said, "I'm going to go and have a lie down," which wasn't unusual. She used to go and lie down at like 6 o'clock to going up to 8. She'd go and have a lie down. Then she'd come back and watch whatever on the TV. Because like she was really ill at this point. I knew she was ill anyway, but I didn't realise at this point. It was like after she'd been sick, she showed me her stomach, and I said, "Right, we've got to go to the hospital," and she wouldn't go. And I said, "Right, tomorrow we've got to go," and she said, "Okay, I'll go tomorrow." So yeah, she went and had a lie down, and then after maybe 15 minutes at the most, maybe less, not sure, she started being sick again. Now, the light was off, and so I took the bucket in. She was sick in the bucket, and I went in the bathroom and I poured it in, and it was really dark colour. So I turned because I hadn't turned the light on in the bathroom either. So I turned the light on in the bathroom, and then I realised it looked like blood. It was blood. I didn't know it was blood, but it looked like blood to me. So I went in to tell her it looks like blood. Before I could really have any kind of conversation with her, I got the word out, it looks like blood. She started being sick again. And then I knew it was blood, and it went everywhere. It went all over me. It went all over the wall. It went over her. It went all over the bed. This is blood. She was throwing up everywhere. And some of it was thick, like coagulated, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like when it starts to... Whatever, anyway. When it starts to clot, it was in clots. So, like, I didn't know at the time, and neither she didn't know either. Her liver had ruptured, and it had filled up in her stomach, and then she was being sick. She was throwing it all up. I didn't know she was bleeding to death, and then she started to like have like some kind of like spasms, and yeah, she started spasming anyway, and then she stopped, and I thought she died then. And then, by the way, I forgot to say, I was wanting to phone an ambulance for her before this even happened, and she wouldn't let me. So I phoned an ambulance, and then she woke up. She came out of it. Like I was on the phone telling them, I think she's died, And they said, somebody's coming. So she woke up, and then she seemed to be okay then. I mean, she was ill, obviously, but she wasn't sick again after that. Anyway, they came eventually. It wasn't an ambulance. It was a guy in one of them, in a car thing. It was a police. It was not police. Sorry, it was an ambulance, but it was like a car. And he came in and told him what the problem was. And he didn't come for 40 minutes, by the way. Now, it was like I think the roads were icy, so fair enough. But 40 minutes is a long time for some. Like I'd explained to them what the situation was. You'd think they might like try and come a little bit faster. Anyway, he talked to her, and then this other guy came in an ambulance, and they had to carry her downstairs because she couldn't walk. So they took her to. I went with her. We went to the hospital, and they looked at her and everything, and then they kept her for like 2 hours later. By this time, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they told me, "Oh, she's getting better now. Don't worry about it. She's getting better now. We've got her on this experimental stuff, and it seems to be, it seems to be working." And I'd had a row with her before she started being sick or anything. I had a row with her. I didn't mention that. I forgot. I wish I hadn't rowed with her because it was about drinking. Sorry, no, it wasn't about. It was about heroin. And no, it wasn't about drinking. That was another time. I'm getting mixed up now. It was about smoking heroin, I wasn't happy about it, and I'd rowed with her. Maybe I shouldn't have done. But, I was angry with her. Sorry. I'd spent a lot of time with her when I could have been living my own life, and I didn't, because I stayed with her and I looked after her, and I felt angry that she was doing these things behind my back and not telling me. And, like, do you know what I mean? Like, why should I waste my time? She doesn't care. Why should I? That was the way I was feeling about it. If I could do it over again, I wouldn't row with her. But, I'm not perfect. I'm not pretending that I am. So that's what happened. But anyway, she was still angry with me for being angry with her, for lying to me. So, like, the doctors told me she's going down on a ward soon anyway. So if you want to go, you can go. It's okay. So I went and told her that, and I said, right, I'm going to go home now, get some sleep. And the last word she said to me was, I don't care. So, that makes me feel great, and I used to wait on her hand and foot. She used to complain all the time that I didn't keep the place tidy enough or whatever. All right, fair enough, maybe I didn't, but I did try. Nobody else in our family came and saw her, and nobody else cared. I was the only one. I used to go and pay all the bills. I used to go and buy all the food. I used to go and everything. Anything she wanted me to do, I'd go out at a moment's notice and go and get it for her. And she did appreciate it, but then she forgot that she appreciated it, and then we'd end up having rows about it. She wasn't, I'm making it sound like she was a bad person. She wasn't. She was a good person, but she did stupid things that hurt herself. She'd give people I've seen her give people a last pound so they can buy something in the shop, and then she's got no money. That's stupid to me. Some kid that's not got enough money to buy sweets or whatever, she's giving them the money, or things like that. Fair enough, do it if you want, but not if it means you're not going to have any money yourself afterwards, though. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. So yeah, I went home, and then and they sent me home, and I gave the nurse my phone number, and she said, "Fine, don't worry about it. She'll be on a ward in the morning. She's going on this ward, to give me the ward and everything." So I went home, went to bed. Next day, got up. She didn't have any pyjamas with her. She didn't have any clean pyjamas, so I went to Asda, bought some new pyjamas, bought some fruit, got on the bus, went up to the hospital, and I was about to go into the ward that they told me to go to, and I got a phone call. Yeah, it's whoever. We've been looking for you. Nobody knows where you were. It's about your mum. You need to come quick. This is the NHS. So I went in. The specialist came and saw me, and they said, she's on her way out, basically. It wasn't in those words. Nobody knew where you were. I told them where I was going. I'd given them my phone number, right? Why did they wait till the last minute to ring me? They didn't ring me until she had 5 minutes of her life left. And when I went in, they made me think, oh, you can say goodbye to her now. I went in, and I'm talking to her, and she was dead. And they didn't tell me. They didn't tell me she died. I thought she was just, whatever. I thought she was still alive anyway, basically. But they didn't tell me. And I blame them for that. They could have at least told me that she died. And she had the thing in her mouth, and you could see the pain on her face. And she died on her own because they couldn't be bothered to ring me up, because they couldn't be bothered to listen to pass the message on. Oh, he's gone home. Oh, we've been looking for you. Well, what do you think I am? If I'm there, I'm going to either be with her or I'm going to be in the waiting room, aren't I? So that's how it happened anyway. And then, it was the 19th of December, and I went home. And I knew people. I told people. Nobody came and saw me though. Nobody has to. Fair enough. But I don't have to do anything for anybody else either, do I? People said all the right noises. And by the way, none of my mum's family came and saw me. I mean, my dad's side of the family, there's not many of them anyway, but whatever, they didn't know about it. Well, not right away anyway, obviously. We don't see each other that much anyway. But I mean, I don't see my mum's side of the family, but you'd think they'd want to come, because that's their niece, you know, because she has uncles. Once I saw him, and then I was on my own then, from the 19th of December until the funeral, which was the 5th of January. I was on my own for all Christmas Day, all New Year's Day. Nobody came and saw me. Nobody said, come and to our house, don't be on your own. Nobody did that for me. And then I'm treated like I'm bitter. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it sounds like self-pity. I can't help it. It's just annoying. Anyway, that's basically it. I mean, I had to find the money for a funeral. None of my mum's side of the family offered to help me. You know, I have 2 sisters, not interested. All right, fair enough. One of them, the younger one, she'd not been around for years. I'm not going into why. I can't really blame her, but the other one, not interested. Well, I'm not interested in her either. So whatever. I hope I never see her again. You know, because she's a trouble causer, and I think she's bipolar or something. Oh, she's in. Well, no, I'm not talking about her anyway. So that's what happened anyway. You know, I don't know what else to say really. I mean, like I say, I had to find the money for the funeral, because we'd all, like, me and my mum and my sister, not the other one, she didn't get anything. When my grandma died in 2012, we all inherited some money, and they both spent all their money. I saved mine, and I was looked down on because of that, because I saved it and I was trying to save up a deposit for a house. I was looked down on that. Like, it was like one of the things that was said to me was, "How much money do you actually want?" Well, I want to buy a house, so I want to, enough for that. And then, like, she was like, "Oh, it was my mother who died. I should have got that money." Why? So you could have pissed it all down the fucking drain. Swore again, sorry. Because she would have done, though. I mean, she got 22.5 grand in 2013, and by 2014, she had just over £2,000 left. And my sister, it didn't even last her that long. She spent it in like 6 months or something. Well, whatever, I don't care. Not my problem. Reminds me I need to make a will, because when I die, she ain't getting any of my money to do on drugs and stuff. I'd rather put it all in a pile and burn it first. So I'm getting annoyed, I can't help it. Anyway, it's 9 years on the 19th. I mean, don't get me wrong, she wasn't all bad, my mum, she wasn't. She was really, in fact, she was too good in some way. She was stupid to herself. And I can make videos about that. I've made videos about how she used to mess about with, like, witchcraft and stuff, which was stupid because of all the trouble that caused. And either you believe me or you don't believe me, that's up to you. I don't care. I know what happened. I was there. But it's already really long video, this. I don't want to make it any longer. But if anybody wants to leave a comment, then do, and tell me what you think. I mean, I shouldn't have argued with her, I know. But when you're telling somebody, you're hurting yourself, stop it, please stop it. And you're telling them, and you're telling them, and you're telling them, and you're telling them, and they just say, yeah, I'll stop, and then they're doing it again, then they're doing it again, then they're doing it again. And you're just wasting your time. It's like, why don't you just tell me to shut up in the beginning? Why don't she throw me out, and then I could have gone and made my own life. But she didn't, because I was working and she could get money off me. I mean, that's saying that like she was really thinking ahead. She never thought ahead, but it is true that she got money off me for that for years. Every week, every time I got paid. Sorry, not every week, but every time I got paid, she'd keep asking me for it until all the money was gone, and then we'd have no food in the house. It was the same when I was growing up as well. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into any more. If you want me to talk about anything I've mentioned and expand on it, then you can ask me to, and I will in another video. Maybe I might do anyway. I'll upload this, but I don't know. I want to have the last word, I suppose, in a way, because she always had to have the last word. Well, now I'm having the last word. She lied to me, and she could be alive now. She was only 57. She'd be what, 66 now. She'll be 67 next year. But she ain't, is she? Because she killed herself, basically. You know, not quick. She didn't, like, blow her brains out or something. But it's the same result because of stupidity. And a lot of people in that generation, loads of people that she knew, died. My dad died when he was 33 because of doing stupid things. And loads of people he knew, same thing. A friend of my dad's died a week before my mum. What, about a week before, maybe, or maybe I'm wrong, mate. It might have been 2 weeks, but it wasn't long before. And he was only about the same age. And there was like I said, like maybe 30 or 40 people from that generation that she knew or were friends or friends of friends, all dead because of drugs and alcohol. And that's why I'll never do drugs. Not interested anyway. You know, it's like a badge of honour. It would like a badge of honour to these people. To me, it's just a badge of stupidity. But I'm going to leave it there anyway. Tell me what you think if you want in the comments section, and you can give me a thumbs up if you want. It's completely up to you. I don't even think anybody will watch this video, to be really honest. But like I say, I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for me, so that I don't have to keep going over it and over it. Somebody who wants to know now, they could just click on this video and watch it, and that'll be that. They'll, you know, don't need to ask me, or they can ask me, and then I can say, well, go and watch the video on YouTube. Don't know what I'm calling it yet. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, I'm going to go and upload it now. If you got this far, you know, well done. But anyway, thanks. If you did, thanks for watching. You can tell me what you think in the comments if you want. But I'm going to go. Thanks for watching if you got this far. Bye.